Hi, I'm Twinkle Uppal. I'm from the class of 2016. I'm a commerce graduate from Shriram College of Commerce. I graduated in 2013. While I was at college, I was very actively involved in extracurricular activities. I was leading an international social entrepreneurship organization which sets up multiple international and national ventures to help out people in need. So, very actively involved in that. Then I applied to ISB, and post ISB, I went on to work for DE Shaw Research, which is a supercomputing research firm which is trying to revolutionize the drug discovery space. After that, I went on to work for a startup called Oyo Rooms. It's one of the largest branded budget hotel chains, and it's growing at a rapid pace right now. So yeah, those two were the firms I worked before I was here at ISB. For me, the choice of an MBA was much before I started working, and the whole concept of the program, of the YLP program of ISB, it just appealed to me a lot because in the Indian scenario, we still wonder if we should get some work ex before our MBA. People are still divided on that thought, and a program which gave me an opportunity to be sure of my MBA even before I left college, that was something which was a great security for me, a security option for me, and also for my parents, because sometimes it gets difficult to convince your parents to let you work before you do your MBA. So that was one. That's why I thought of doing an MBA from the Indian School of Business, and I think it's one of the best programs in the country. So there wasn't a lot of consideration involved. I feel that the goals of a person keep evolving a lot with time, and before I joined ISB, the only clarity I had on my goal was that I want to be successful. I didn't really have a very particular goal because I think with the knowledge you acquire over the years, your goals keep evolving. Yes, I thought that I wanted to do consulting. That's what I'm going to do after ISB. So my goals are in alignment with where I'm going. ISB, I knew a lot about ISB, and I used to follow what ISB has been doing. ISB did a special session at our college where they talked about this program, and when I interacted with people from ISB and when they told me about the rationale of this program, I was very convinced. The best thing about it was that it gave me a guarantee, because a lot of times the most like the biggest apprehension that people have is that once they get to start working, they will not get the time to study, give their GMAT, get an admission. There's some sort of uncertainty. When ISB proposed this program, there's a sort of certainty and clarity and a guarantee which comes with it. So the admission process was a very long process. I think it took me about half a year through the entire process. It started with initial essays about how you have been as a person, with some video essays. It moved on to GMAT, it moved on to interviews. So it was a very all-rounded thing. Like, it measured and assessed every aspect of your personality to see if you fit the ISB culture. So it was really long. It was fun actually to be a part of the process. The interviews were a little different from what you expect, but it was a lot of fun. The two main purposes of the learning weekend solved were, first, that you got to interact with really nice and acclaimed professors at ISB and to sample classes which you're actually going to be doing 2 years later. So first it kind of convinced us and showed us what is the faculty like, what is going to be the course material like, because it picked up aspects of the course which we were going to do 2 years later. That was one. Second was that it helped us get acquainted with a lot of other people with similar goals and ambitions. So for YLPs, when they come and they interact with other YLPs, you just get more confident of your decision. You just get a lot of perspective of what other people are doing, and it was a great learning experience. So the learning never stopped in those 2 years. It wasn't that you're waiting to come to ISB and that's when your learning starts. So the learning starts the minute you apply to ISB, I think. I think that ISB is a school of diversity. The first thing you realize when you enter the school and you interact with people is that people are from very, very diverse backgrounds. And I think that the YLP is a diversity in itself. So when you interact with people who have experience of about 10 years and you being people with experience of about 2 years and people being at the continuum all throughout, it's just a lot. You just feel very empowered because of the diversity. It's in fact helped us in having conversations from very different perspectives, even in our study groups or in whatever competitions we are participating, because I think experience and freshness both have brought very different perspectives to it. So it's less experience has honestly never been a disadvantage. In fact, people at ISB are very, very supportive of how you are as an individual, and it's actually been one of the best advantages that I've had to be comparatively on the lower experience side. Before I joined ISB, there's an option of deferring your admission by a year, and I was contemplating that. And in fact, I actually approached the admissions team to defer my admission, but I had a very heart-to-heart conversation with one of the persons at the team, and I got all my doubts cleared. I got a lot of information about how ISB is like for people with relatively low work experience, and I changed my decision to come this year, and I'm so glad that I did, because this year has been one of the best years of my life, in terms of the learning I've got, and also in terms of the recognition and the awards I got. I'm a merit lister. I'm one of the city scholars. I got placed at one of the dream companies. So I'm so glad that I dispelled all my apprehensions at the right time. And the biggest challenge at ISB has been that it's very, very demanding. It's very demanding on your time. It's very demanding on the kind of effort you make. Apart from the hard work, I don't think I faced any challenges. ISB creates the environment for you to be able to just focus on your learning and takes care of everything else. And things like housekeeping, things like the infrastructure you have, the professors you have, everyone is moving with you, is trying to help you in achieving what you want to achieve. So the only challenge you'll have is to work really hard. You will have to really, really push your limits and make sure that you put in all your effort. Apart from that, everyone's here to support you. Apart from the course, I think that there's a lot of personal development that happens at ISB. Apart from the usual extracurriculars that you do at ISB, which there's a plethora of activities that you can do, the most important thing for me is the people skills you acquire at ISB. To do your projects, you work in groups. To live, you live with people, you live with your coordinates. In a class, you interact with everyone. So there's a lot of people skills that you learn, and I think that is something you can learn only at an MBA school.